Hey, 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 good morning. Good morning. We're back. 7:18. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. Took one little trade this morning. Sat down right in here like 7:05 and saw this push, saw everything kind of line up. Wish I was in it a little bit sooner because everything did line up a little sooner. But I managed to with two contracts. I gotta lower my contract size. The 5 contracts thing isn't working for me. It's just too much risk. Too much risk. Um, with a small account. If I had a huge account, like a 300K or 150K is okay, but it can go quick with 5 contracts in queue. So adjusting that, I made $110 in, I don't know, 2 minutes, something like that. Yesterday, called the shots. I was distracted looking at Facebook. I'm not making excuses. Just this is the way it goes. When you're not focused, when you're distracted, I was looking at Facebook and all of a sudden the move broke out. Well, I didn't want to take it after it broke out. It already broke out. I didn't take it. Called the shot to the tick where it would stop and pause and oscillate a little bit. Continuation. Great. Still didn't get in. Got in at the top. Tried to short. It rang that bell, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Blew my account. I switched accounts real quick to this account, actually. You can see up here. I took that trade this morning, but yesterday after I blew that account, knowing it was going down, if I'd have just held a little bit longer and stopped getting faked out of my position, psychology 101, I guess, I would have won that trade and I wouldn't have blown the account at all. Or if I was paying attention and got the move up, I would have definitely been okay. Did not do that. So, switched accounts. Went to this account. Didn't get all the good setups yesterday. I had a lot going on and managed to make like $1,500 and something dollars yesterday in this account. And this morning, like I said, sat down in here. When these two were perfect, this is rising above. These two aren't perfect yet, but I'm noticing something. This is already right. This is already ready. And this candle right here says more than likely these are going to turn around and get good. So with all the confluences, 1, 2, 3, we are above the 200 and we pushed hard 4. That usually leads you to your next target. My first target would have been not that whole push. My first target would have been, well, it was 13. I got out at 12 and a quarter just in case it didn't wrap me. And then also the next target would have been 16 and a quarter. I did not hold that long. As you can see, we ran up to 18, 75-ish. Yeah. I did not wait for the bottom of this candle right here, because that's the one that started this deal. So 1650 would have been my ultimate target on that. If you had enough contracts to leave a runner, you could have seen if it would have run, all the way up, I guess, but I did not. And that's why, this happens. This happens too often for me to want to hold runners all the time. Every time I've held a runner, I'll be up $600, $700, $800. I'll cut some. I'll hold the runner, and then at the end of the trade, and maybe I'm not managing that correctly, and that's okay because I'm learning to manage that correctly, is that I had an $800 winner that I turned into a $600 winner or a $400 winner. Well, I just take the 800, wait for something like this to happen, and then, because you would have had to, ideally you would slide your stop, right? Let's just say this didn't happen yet. You get in here with 3 or 4 contracts, you hit your target, you cut 2, okay? Or 3, whatever. Maybe even in here you cut 1. Great. That would have been like, I don't know, $300-400 maybe, somewhere in there, because this was on 2 contracts for 110. So I'm just playing with the numbers there. But then you get out for that. So you got 4 contracts total, let's say. You cut 2 here, you cut 1 here. You got 3 contracts in the green. Great. You held that runner. If you had a stop loss right here, say like right here, okay, and you let that run without sliding your stop up on that runner, which is risky in itself, that runner would have taken you all the way back down to your stop loss. This time. Not every time. This time. So, I don't hold a runner for that reason. I try to wait for the next setup and take that. Looks like it's wanting to push again, but that's a pretty good run back off of that little push up. It's pretty good. I'm not excited about the second entry here. Doesn't mean it won't happen. I'm just not excited about it. So we went and got below this support here. Now, are we going to basically hold this support, or are we going to run all the way? Ugly. And we're back to support. So we had resistance. We broke it. We created support right here on the 1 minute, and then it bounced. That would have been a second entry long potential on the 1 minute chart. But now here's the support on the 2 minute. We got above it, broke it, could push it, but now we're playing in that area right now. Not my deal. Could work. Not my deal. So now I have, by the way, I have 1 account that's funded, and I have 4 accounts that have been traded for at least 2 days. Yesterday was a 1-day pass. I didn't know how long that was going to continue. I didn't read the email in detail. I thought that would continue for a few days. It did not. It was yesterday, apparently. It was just yesterday. So I wish I had a couple on deck to be funded yesterday, and then I would have just traded those up to that threshold if I could. Looking at, yeah, so they're saying 71% off of eval accounts, which is the first step. And then you get half price resets. So that's the deal right now. Which is still pretty good. I mean, it's not terrible. I want to say, and I believe this is true, I think it's like $54 for an account. You trade that account and do well. The first payout's $2,000. So $54 to get maybe get $2,000, maybe blow it up, maybe lose $54. I don't know. Well, it looks like that push worked out for a little bit. 1 candle, couple points. Still not in love with it. Drew some levels on the 5 minute. I kind of like some smaller time frames better than larger time frames, only because you can see through the larger ones. So if I want to look at, say, the 15 minute, that's cool and all. But what do I got, right? I got some deals in here, which is where we're at. 14.25. I had already drawn these out, but Then I got some stuff up here. I had a gap up here, so you can see the top of this candle. Between basically the bottom of this one and the top of this one, there's that gap there where nothing came back to touch it. See where you had the gap? You had a small gap here. Well, it was a big gap at first, then it filled partially right here to here. It filled partially. It eventually worked itself up to filling all the way. So that gap was filled with this. Halfway with this, the rest with this. All these little gaps are filled. See the bottom of this? Let's see how it looks for you guys. The bottom of this candle, and this dropped, and it basically filled. I mean, there's a tiny bit there, but tiny bit. Anyway, it's basically filled. This one has not, which is this block. So anytime you hear, no matter who you're listening to, I can't remember what ICT calls it, or Wyckoff. A lot of people refer to this as like a fair value gap, or just a spot in the market that has liquidity that's never been retraced to. That's simply what it is. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what name you put on it. There was somebody in here with money, and we have not reached back into this zone. Not yet. Same across the board, right? That's pretty much anywhere here. And then you could say, well, this one is filling anything over here. Okay, cool. But then it made a new one. So here to here, what's that? 43.50 to 15. So then we go over here, 43.50 to 15. 43-ish area right here. So this whole zone. There's a gap on the 15. 43.50 right there, which lines up beautiful right there to, what was it, 15 something? Kind of a big gap. Or did I lose it? No. There's 15. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. That's one. Anyways, I lost it. I don't know how the heck I just lost that. Anyways, yeah, one here. Right here. That's 43. 66. 46.50 looks good. 47-ish. All the way to 64. I'm doing this so small. Jeez, make it bigger. Over here like, just make the dang thing bigger. Right here. Okay, we rotated that. So that's good. So then from the top of this, 57.50 to 64. It's not a huge gap, but it's there. 857 to 864. 857. Right there it is. Right there it is. And when you break this down into the 2 minute, you can see it, I don't know, in my opinion, a lot easier. I also like making these just a little bit bigger to front run some stuff, but coincidentally, I don't know. Other people do that too. So there's a gap. I'd have to really dig into here, which would be better on the 5 probably, but there's a small one there, which is why we have our line here. So 42, 40, whatever that says, 2. Yep. That's a nice little target. There's kind of several things going on. We'll reevaluate too as this moves around, because these are pretty far away. Not that we can't go there, because we can't. Look at this one. That was far away too, but it went straight to it, right? Went straight to it. There was a gap right there. Went straight to that gap. Make sense? And that's why we marked these out. I'm mad at myself from yesterday for not crushing that trade going up, but I'm not that mad. Just disappointed, I guess you could say. So now to the upside, from here. So we're looking for anything above this. We could really shoot. Oh gosh, dang, all the way up, right? Got some big stuff, but I would almost rather see that later. We reevaluate at lunchtime and see what we've done and all that good stuff. All right. So the goal is still to fund, 4 more of these accounts, I guess, until the end of the month. At which point I will fund them all, pay the activation fee, and then trade funded accounts the first half or all of next month. And I think I have like 10 accounts. So if I don't blow them all, then 10 accounts. And not all of them will be funded. So let's just say half. Which I think is pretty good. I've never had that many funded at a time. But let's just say, 10 accounts times 37. We'll call it 38. So you got $380 in 10 accounts. And half of those accounts, let's just say half of them got funded. So remember the 380. You got 85 times 5. That's the half of them. And 425 plus 380 is 805. A $2,000 payout on any one of them, and you're net positive. I know that says negative. I reversed the math, but you're net positive almost $1,200. It's not terrible. Not terrible. And that's if, one account. The goal is to be getting payouts on 5, 6, 8, 12 accounts, 15 accounts at a time. Then you're looking at 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 grand. That is the idea. Well, I sat down at a push where everything lined up really well, which was here. Everything was kind of perfect there. Right off the 0 line, made it even better. I didn't even see that until just now. But that would have been my 5th confluence. Being above the 0 line, yes, but even right off of it was even better. So right here is what I mean. Anybody who doesn't know what the MACD, there's several lines. Signal line, MACD line, right here. There's the difference. the 0 line, which is our gray bar. You'll see it, well, you can kind of see on the screen right there, that gray bar. The MACD line and the signal line, which is the red and the, it's green. It's that color. It's green, it's neon, whatever. But I turned the difference off. The difference is that histogram. I don't like it. It just kind of clutters up my deal and gets in the way. So I turn that off. And sometimes I turn the other ones off too. I like to see that red line. See, when the red line actually starts curving, that's when it really actually starts moving. Red line still. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right, check this out. See it big. So the green line is rising, rising, rising. The red line's rising. Cool. Green line takes a dip, got right back into it. Well, that's a big cut, right? And we could look at the 1 minute right there, and it'll show you why not to. But once it starts rising above that 0 line, we had the back touch right there. Boom. And then it just went. That's a good time, in my opinion, to hold one. Once you get above up here, you come back down. You're like, okay. Price didn't really go down much. Like this went up pretty clean. This went up pretty clean. This went down pretty clean. This didn't really go down very good. But look at the MACD down. And then it crossed over. It says get ready. Boom. And then it went. That's the kind of stuff that I use the MACD for. And I'm not saying that that's the best way. That's just what I see, so I can visualize these things. I got in late because I sat down like right here and was like, oh wow, that's actually going to break out. So like this is that would have been the target from here. And then when you see this, you go, oh my goodness, that's actually going to break out. Right here, same. So here, wow, that's huge. Here and here, here's the top. Okay. And what I mean by the top is, look, 1, 2, 3 times you had a top right there. Okay. Well, then you come into here and you're like, well, are we just gonna do it a 4th time? You know, just 1, 2, 3, 4, and we hit it. And then we did have a clearing bar. This is the 1 minute, by the way, but we had a clearing bar right here too. Right here. We had the clearing bar right here, which is the same. It's just 1 minute versus 2 minute. Then it rotated back down like it normally does, which would have been right here. Hidden RBI right here, which was also an actual RBI right here. And then the push. The slope was up. The slopes were up. The slopes weren't up here. You can see the red here. That's not up. That's starting up. That's starting up. That's up. Now it's up. Go. All right. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. What kind of pattern we got going? I don't love it. All right, see how these are crossed? Obviously, we had a pretty good push to the upside here. We matched it here. We didn't break it, though. That's concerning. And then these two lines crossed right here. And these two look like this. Well, sideways, but like this. Not this. Right? So they look kind of like that. This. Let me see. Make that bigger. It looks more like it's doing this number. There you go. That's good. So then, are we pushing longer? No, not necessarily, but not not know. We had the momentum up, and now it's changing. So I would not sit and hold that any, for a long right there. Could run up 200 points. I'm just saying, this is changing. We did go up a pretty good lick right here, and this is just a 2 minute. Okay, well there's a bigger move, but off of just this move, we went up, come back a little bit below 50%. I mean, you can see that's more than half. Half from here to here, half is roughly right there, roughly, and we moved it. And then we shot back up to a double top, went down half of this. Now that's actually pretty close to half, right? So we went down roughly half of this move. We could shift out, but I don't know. I like 3 touches to the high right here and come back, but who knows? It's kind of choppy. Which, if we were going to really push, in my opinion, based off of what we have here, that's a pretty deep retracement to get this push. Just to rock out. I need to actually not trade this account probably because the 1 day pass is off. So let's go back to 13. All right, we got 688 in this one, 682 in this one. Well, that's pretty dang consistent. 661 in that. That's pretty consistent. And then yesterday we had a 1 day pass, and I did blow one, so I was trying to run this up. I'm not sure how they do that with the 1 day pass because your consistency rule. So you can see that consistently for a couple days, I put $300 something on the books right there on those other accounts, right? Well, yesterday it was a new account I hadn't even traded yet. Then I ran up $1,500 on it. This account right here. I ran up $1,500, and yeah. So I don't know if now they're expecting me to run $1,500 on it every day to be consistent, but I don't see how they can if it's a 1 day pass. It's not 1 day pass right now. This is crazy. See how they got chopped up and crossed here now? Same. So it's stuff like this that I really never ever need to trade, honestly. Like, I need to stay out of stuff like that. This is doing the same thing. It's kind of like pinching. And the stronger of the two lines is above the weaker of the two lines, which is the 20 and the 14. Here, same thing, except now it's like this. I would venture to say we come back down here, but it's kind of looking that way. But above, this can do anything. We're above. If we did come back based off the 1 minute, this is a loose interpretation right here. But potentially back into here. If not, then potentially back into here, which makes the most sense, right this second. Only because we're pushing. So now let's look at the 1 hour real quick. Oh, big time resistance right here. Although we do look it look like you just want to drive right through it. And then you have this gap. There's no, not really. That pretty much got recovered. You have a tiny gap between 87 and 90, whatever. It's tiny. You did. It kind of got rotated too. Trying to look for a spot. 61 to 26 would be interesting. 18061 to 18026. Okay. 18061 to 18026. Wow, that's up there pretty good. 18061 to 18026. 18026. We'll call it 25 to crap 61. Think so. We'll just call it that. I love when that happens. Oh, no wonder. Grabbed the wrong side of the daggone box. It helps if you don't grab the wrong side of the box. Okay. So now looking up, we got, which lines up with the second pivot up there. Well, the second pivot from here. It's actually, I can't see anymore, but. Yeah, that's right. There's the pivot line, like the middle line. 1, 2 down, 1, 2 up. For some reason, I thought there was more than that. No. All right. What's the pivot deal here? Why did we have that? 50 and a quarter? Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. They usually do. You see a pivot like that, they usually make a lot of sense on the chart. Good morning, brother. My man. I don't know when you put that. I was kind of in a zone. But good morning, Kyle. Good morning, good morning. There's that triple top I was thinking. That's actually pretty, too. Oh, my gosh. That's so pretty. 1, 2, 3. That's almost worth taking a short just because. I don't think you should ever really take trades just because. But I feel like the risk to reward could be pretty good. What's our risk? 18 and a quarter for the reward of potentially 8. So 6 points versus 2 points. I mean, 1, 2, 3, just as pretty as you please. That is tempting. Well, I want to see how this plays out, honestly. Because that looks very, very good for a potential pop down. I could be wrong. Hello, good morning. What's up, babe?
Order filled.
Okay, well, that was what I was talking about. That was exactly what I was talking about. I could have left it on. I mean, I was on the phone. I had the plan. The plan was to come right back here, right where I should. You guys saw it. I put my take profit right there, and I would have got slammed. Like, perfect. So instead of 100 and something dollars, I got 50, which is green. You know, it is green. Kind of a bummer. I didn't get it all. Look at that. I mean, that's picturesque. We did all this craziness with the MAs, right here. We did all this craziness with the MAs right here. Look, through. And then we created the most perfect triple top that you could see on a chart. I mean, guys, if you're trying to figure out if it's a triple top, that's a triple top. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that. Right there. And the overall target would have been the 200, or that trend line right there. Overall target was the 200, 903 and a quarter. Front run, 904. It'll probably happen, but the front run is, front run is the one. That's perfect trade. I made $50. Better than $0 and better than better than negative $50. But that was the plan. And again, you can see here. Boo. There we go. There was the plan. I mean, 750-ish. 750-ish right there. Weird. Huh. Now, a triple top means typically you'll go a little bit deeper with a little bit of momentum there because people see it. Right, sees it and trades it. But anyways, enough crying about that. Enough crying about that. Enough crying about that. Kind of hard to go against that now. I mean, geez. That was more of a scout play. Because now you have you held the 200 here, boom. Tail bar, bull 180, boom. Tail bar. You do have everything going against you, though. I mean, look at this. This is all going against you right now. So when you have something that looks so good, but everything else says no, you have a choice. Go with the more confluences that you have, right? Or take the power in the move, which in this particular move, for the last little bit, the power has been up. Okay. Or simply don't do anything. I mean, you don't want to chase this down when there is momentum up. That's showing a reversal, but let that play out. Let it get under some stuff. Let it actually be going down and get your confluences, or going up and get your confluences. Like, to me, that's a much better idea. Oh, crap, I was still trading the same account. Okay. I need to be trading these accounts now. All right, well, another $50 in the other account, I guess. And again, for the most part, I'm not looking to take these trades for $4, $5, $8, $10, $12,000 and put on that much risk per trade. I'm not putting on 15 contracts and letting her roll, let her eat. Nope. I was at 5, and it psychologically messed with me a little bit. So I'd be down like 500, which is not much at all. In terms of how many points we're down. 5 points. But it would freak me out because that can turn into 1,000 really quickly. And then if that freaks you out, then you're going to exit the trade, which is exactly what I've been doing. And so I exit the trade, but I'm exiting good trades because it's like, oh, and then I'm like, God, I can't stand that anymore. Like I can't withstand that anymore via the account. So I get out, and then it goes my direction, and I'm kicking myself in the butt every time. But you do that $500 at a time, that stuff goes quick. Stuff. You like that? Stuff. Oh, man, it still looks like we're pushing down here, but we'd probably wrap up one more time. Oh, no, it looks like we're pushing down, though. A triple top. Back tested there, pushed down. Straight into the 200. Do you want to be short? I mean, I kind of do, but just saying. Might not be the best of ideas. I also don't like the long coming off a triple top, right? So we're holding the triple top, and then we're holding the 200. If anything, we got to clear the triple top. Yeah, I give such great advice when I'm not in a trade. Clear the triple top, back test it, hold that support line, hold this line, and then go. I'm a master trader when I'm not trading. Master. That's a joke. That is a joke. I could go and be like a lot of other people. Can't trade good, so teach other people how to trade. What's funny is I think there's some validity to that. I really do. Like, you can look at charts, you can talk about it, you can see what you see because it already happened. But the more you see that and see how it reacted in real time, there's nothing like real time. But you can say, okay, look, we had a triple top here, boom, boom, boom. We went down. You could have made money. But a triple top here, boom, boom, boom. It went down. Could have made money. Well, I actually did make a little bit. Nothing crazy, but, same. We had a triple bottom, boom, boom, boom. Higher right foot. Well, it's a double bottom with a higher right foot. Bottom, higher bottom. Right? I mean, so one could say, oh, all you do is teach, you don't trade good. Well, first of all, I don't really teach. I'm sharing what I've seen. I'm sharing what I see. I'm not teaching anybody anything. So, there it is. I mean, how many times do we have to do that before we realize, hey, that might be a good idea? Not always, though. Look at that. That's why this is the 1 minute. This is the 2. And then you can go look at the 5 and the 15 and the 1 hour and yada, yada. That is a mess. That was Power Hour, wasn't it? Look at that. Power Hour has been absolute trash for the past, I want to say 2 weeks, two plus weeks. Power Hour's just been eating everybody's money that they might have made in the morning, including me. I kind of thought that was going to come down. The power into this bar would suggest a dead cat bounce. We had the power here. drew straight back up. Generally, I would want that bar to be red, but it doesn't have to be. We wrapped it, created a great resistance right there, and then we came back down. That's why I said earlier the play it really looks short to me. I don't like risking against the 200. However, when that went back up and through that tail, but that should have been the indication that said we're pretty safe here. That's what should have told me we're safe. This is smoothly coming out to drop down, like this was smoothly coming out to rise. That was showing a smooth rise. This was inverse yet, right? Well, this was showing a smooth transition drop right here. And this was inverse yet. That's something that I've keyed in on really big, even in the last week, is why am I looking at the 1 minute and the 2 minute? Because if I'm only going to watch the deal on the 2 minute, well, then just look at the 2 minute. What am I looking for? Why am I looking at two screens? So I'm trying to find some confluence between the two, that if they're both doing the same thing at the same time, one could argue, well, then throw the 3 minute on, throw the 5 minute on, throw the 10 minute, whatever. And you can put as many charts as you want on the screen, I suppose. But I'm not looking to hold this through tomorrow. I'm looking to make $300, $400, $500 and switch accounts. Oh, what a good drip. So we get VWAP. Oh, by the way, I pay attention myself, right? Well, let me refresh that. Make sure it's correct. In 24 minutes at 8:30, we have continuing jobless claims, core retail sales 3-star, initial jobless claims 3-star, Philadelphia Fed manufacturing 3-star, retail sales 3-star. This is all at 8:30. Okay, then we're going to wrap that up with 9:15, a bunch of 2-star stuff. And then 10:30, 10, we're going to do some more 2-star stuff. At 1 o'clock, good Lord, today's going to be slammed. All right. Today's going to be slammed. At 1 o'clock, 1300, Atlanta Fed GDP, Q1, 1315, the Fed speaking, 2 stars. And then also 1630 will be the balance sheet. So we've got a ton of stuff rocking. Honestly, in 22 minutes, it will be the fireworks. Or at least that's what I'm seeing. Man, we're in a big. It almost looks, if you look at this kind of subjectively, because that's kind of what this all is. I don't think that there's any coincidence, and I don't think this is random. However, we never know if it's going to go to the bottom side targets or the top side targets right away. Like, we really don't know that, right? So that being said, right now we're hitting resistance, and we had a really big move up. We broke right here. We broke below this low. So technically speaking, not technically, we did. On the 1 hour, we made a lower low. On the 1 hour, right there. We had higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, blah, blah, blah. Lower low, right? But I'm talking about on this push. Because one could say, all right, 1, pull back. 2, pull back. 3, but generally when we make this lower low, a lot of times that could mean we're done. Doesn't have to mean that, but it can definitely mean that. So then you could say, okay, well, we had this little double toppy, kind of, it's ugly. One could say triple top, 1, 2, boom, right? And then we had a 1, 2, 3 push down, or 1 push down without making a higher high, ready for the second push down. I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish. I'm just looking at the 1 hour chart sitting at resistance saying, I don't know if I like this area for blasting through yet. However, the news is in, 18 minutes. We'll see what that turns it into. I kind of actually like it to go down here, maybe even to VWAP. So we had that power into the 200 EMA. We had it into the SMA. We broke it to the EMA. We came back up in position now to short. Look, in position now to short. That's pretty clean. We still got the 200 there, and we got the VWAP there. So if anything, we go down to VWAP. But if we rattle this can and hold, we'll see. I think it breaks, but I don't want to short into, like, right into VWAP or right into a 200 typically. So that's 6 points to the downside. I actually really like it, though. I like it to roll right here. 200's rising, but this is punching down into it. I kind of like this short. So we held, right? Support, held. Support, held. Support, held. Holding, I should say. Holding. If anything, I'd want to build a short into this candle and go short now. What I mean by that is start putting short orders up in here with a relatively decent stop loss, like a tighter range stop loss. So if you go all the way to the top of this bar, you get short here, right into 200. Like, I don't know, that's the best idea in the world, you know? So, but if you build a short into here, your risk, the higher that goes, the higher that you build a short, the less risk on your stop loss. So now we got in. Let's say we got in right here. And we could put our stop loss up here. And as this drips, we can run our stop loss right back to here. And then it goes here. I should have taken that, honestly. I know I see it now. It's hindsight, but that's how you build a position. And if you get stopped out, that's fine. You got everything in your favor. MACD, money line, everything's good. The 2-minute money line's good. So you got a lot of stuff in your favor, and then you have a target. The target would be 92. Front run that at 92.5, 92.75. It looks like a K-bar. Run straight back up to, that's what it looks like. Could wrap, but 901. All right, so was that the take out the stop because people shoved straight to there? Too soon, really? Because the profit take is on this bar, but down here, and you don't want to take one next to a green bar, says Oliver Velez. So actually the second bar past that would be the profit take. So I'll give you an example. He says that this is, this might be out of context because of the location, but nonetheless, if you're entering the break of this here, this green break, if you're entering here, that's kind of the igniting bar, right? So you don't take profit down here. The 200's not there. I'm just saying. In general, that's the igniting bar. Color changes right there. So then you add or hang out right there. Your profit take is not the one next to green, he says. It's the next two. Boom, boom. And if you want to hold out for that because you already bounced, then start scaling out here. And then your end profit game would be the low that started this push. That would be your end profit goal. That's what Velez says. Velez is a trading. He has just crazy experience in this. But when he explains things, he'll take 20 minutes to explain what I just explained. And I get it for new people. Repetition. I get it. And it sucks because I've watched so many hours of it and I still don't do exactly what he says. Why, I don't know, but I should. He has a theory here. You won't even have to watch Velez videos after a while. Watch. He has a theory that says about time and space. I know that sounds futuristic, but here's time. I believe that's the timeline. Here's the space. So what he's saying basically is the distance between here and the distance between here gets remotely equal. Okay? Remotely equal. Then the continuation, the more it gets equal, the less opportunity for continuation at a key area. The 200, the 20, the whatever your key areas are, support and resistance, yada yada. Well, there you go. So if this was to hold, you'd think, okay, excuse me, that should have follow through. And it didn't. Okay, that's item number one. Okay, that didn't have follow through. Bounced, no follow through. Green, tail bar, right at the 200 EMA. He likes the SMA the best. Doesn't mean we're not going to get follow through, but what I'm saying is simply the further we get away from this hard drop, the more likely it is that it's not going to continue. Like I said, the further away, that's a big drop, and we're only that far. So one could argue, it's a little long. I don't know. I can't see it exactly, but maybe something like that. So if this drizzles on over into here, or what, what have you, that's one of his things. But if you watch his video on it, it takes 25 minutes to show that. Not hating, just saying. It's like, all right, man, got it, wrote it down. Let's move on. So now I get to bore you guys to death with it. Anybody listening? But not for 25 minutes, hopefully. It's not an event, it's a location. So the location right now is the 200 EMA. But we also are in a narrow range because we have the 200 EMA, the 20, 200 SMA, and the 14. And if you are a VWAP kind of trader, you have the VWAP kind of in the same range. I mean, we're looking at 92 to 905. Well, everybody knows for the ES, that's the ES, the NASDAQ, the NQ. That's really nothing. 15 points is really nothing. 8:22. We got 8 minutes. Everything on the chart to me says down, but time and space, right? Time and space, narrow range, let it tell us. Everything is telling me down, but. And honestly, now, so we have this deal here. If we close the candle below, that would give me more confirmation. I think it's, it's down, but. $97 to 92. It seems like VWAP gets front ran a lot. Like right here. Front run. And it's not really, it's kind of shifting out of the zone, but it seems like it happens a lot. Front ran a lot. That actually got touched. See, right there. Didn't quite get it. 200 got in the way. Seems like it happens a lot. So that right there. Or what's our level to the downside? So our level to the downside is 63.75 is the top of it. Oh my goodness, it looks like a big drip. What I liked about it the most was the power into the 200, the bounce, and then the rip down. And that was the trade. Don't want to get too crazy. The closer we get to 8:30, the less likely I'm wanting to be in a trade. Honestly, though, if we rotate that VWAP right here, the blue line, the VWAP, which is what we're doing right this second. I mean, that could run all the way back up, but then, I mean, ultimately the target would be 64. The news is huge, though. We have a first target of 83.75. Level. Not necessarily target, but a level. That's pretty solid. We wrapped it. Looks like we're about to drip hard soon. We're in a zone, though. I mean, we are in this zone. So we have to break this level. 83, 84 to 81. Basically, wrap 80. If we wrap 80, we could potentially come down to 60. By wrap, I mean down, hit 80, down, hit 80, and drop. That's what I mean by wrap it. Just wrap right around it. Kind of like we just, if this was to drop from here, we would have just wrapped that trend line. If it would have dropped from here, we wrap VWAP. That's what I mean. So, there we go. She's a runner. She's a track star. Somebody going to flush the toilet and just... One. That's the beginning of two. Color change would be potentially 3, but not loving it. We're sitting at VWAP. Imagine. I mean, that VWAP is the volume weighted average price. So that is the average price over the last, this is 2 minutes, so however many candles it calculates. However that calculation's done, this is the volume weighted, based by volume, the average price in that. What is the 2 minute MACD forming? Look at that 3 though. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's the third one. So that's the fourth one. So what I've seen in that is on the chart, you see 1, 2, 3. You actually see 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 1, 2, 3. Then the higher right foot, the higher right foot, go. Usually when you see that, it's pretty solid. 1, 2, 3, lower right foot, or a lower right foot. It seems like that next one, and what's funny is with divergence purposes, that lower right foot on the MACD can be lower, but on the price, sometimes I've seen it be higher. Like for instance, right here. So you had 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's an equal bottom. So one would say that's higher. That's higher right there than here. See here and here? That's a lot higher here, but that's dead even. Pretty close. Now, I've even seen that push up be a lower. So that's even more divergence. Boy, this energy drink and this water. Woo, it's running through me. Oh, 8:29. What do we got? 45 seconds. I thought we had like 3 or 4 minutes. I was going to go use the restroom real quick, but I'm going to hang out for this. Kind of want to drop to one contract if I decide to jump in, because it'll be big. 10 points. I don't think 10 points is enough. What's 10 points? $200? Yeah, that's not enough. Kind of need to run my stop bigger. I got to remember to change that. Oh, my goodness. There you go, boys and girls. There's news right there. There it goes. All right, what are we going to touch? Overnight high and push, or slam right back down? What does that say? Shoot. Wasn't prepared for that. There we go. All right. So if we end up pushing and clearing this area and rotating it, my next target would be 87. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that's 87 and then also 28. 87 and 28 would be targets up to the upside. I don't know what they just talked about, but so far it's in our favor. Well, it doesn't really matter what's our favor, up or down, right? I'm just saying it's in the NASDAQ's favor, the shareholders' favor, I guess you could say. Well, it's like we're building continuation, but we got to see a bounce here, yeah. So we'll wrap the whole thing. On the 1 minute, we recovered, well, both. We recovered most of the candle there. So that's going to be a key area for us at some point today. Could go now. I mean, there's the back test. It's pushing pretty good. It's holding up there. Usually, if it's going to rotate, it'll snap up and then kind of take everybody out. I think that's going to fill up some. 07.
Order
I'm going to take
filled.
that to fill that up a little bit. I know there's a tail. I don't think we're going to wrap the bottom side just yet. We could, but I think we're going to fill that up some. We had the bounce here. I think we're going to push. We're going to fill that up a bunch. It's what I think, not what I know. Got to go hard here. Got to go real hard here. 110, 120. That's 3/4 of the bar hitting resistance. We push, push, push. Boom.
Order filled.
$200. I only did it on one contract. So my entry was 1175, which was a little bit late. 1175, and I think that's going to continue to push. But 1175 was my entry, and my stop was, at 902. So actually, a 10-point stop would have worked there. But I'm happy with the $200. Honestly, I really am. Kind of hard not to be. Kind of hard not to be. Yeah, that was a pretty good trade there. Wow, I got a mic in front of my face. Let's see. What was the news again? A bunch of news. Jobless claims. All right, so had some news on initial jobless claims. Had the news come out. This is actually huge. We see these little bars that were happening, right? News came out at 8:30. Ran that up huge. See the difference in the size of the bars? We back tested and rotated. I took that for $200 long this morning. That play was less than 2 minutes for sure. I don't know exactly how long, but less than 2 minutes for $200. All right, well, that account is traded again. So that's 3 days now traded in this. Now I probably want to switch this back to 2. That may be a mistake, but that's okay. And I also want to change this back. I'm glad I remember that. So I'm looking for some 1-to-1 action later. I may play with that and change it. That's a 1-to-1 trade. But preferably, we go up, we rotate back down. There was the close right there. Then we started to push. We dropped a little bit right here. But I waited for the rotation and the second push. If I'd have got in, on the top of this bar or up here, yeah, holding through it would have made money ultimately. But I waited for the rotation and saw the push, and that's when I took it. So right here, just to fill, and I was basically just looking for the top of that wick right there. I think it's actually continues, but it's hard to say with news because whoever says something wrong in the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, that just goes straight back down or straight haywire. Who knows? But anyway, that was the plan. It went up, had the rotation, it went back down, On the push back up, we grabbed momentum. That was the plan. And that worked out. I was only willing to risk one contract there because the volatility's pretty good during this time. As you can see, these candles right here, even this is the 1 minute, these candlesticks right here are massive compared to the ones that we've had all morning. Massive. So there you go. So I downsized, took off some risk, saw a move, and took it. Also, Velez talks about a Fab 4. So the Fab 4 says that basically anytime that you get pre-market stuff, I'll just draw it out real quick. Shapes, rectangle. Let me just draw this out real quick. What the heck? There we go. All right. Now let's do this. So this is what Velez says. Before all this happened, and this is news, not the open or anything, but before all this happened, we had a box right in here of pre-market stuff. This is still pre-market. That's why I say this is a little bit different. But the theory is this. If you break above this, you should push. If you break below this, you should push that way. In a narrow range. At a location, 200, the 200, and in a narrow range, 200 and the 20, and you see power in that direction, then the Fab 4 is that direction, and you take the trade. Saved you 25 to 40 minutes of listening to Velez talk about that. Even though I love the dude. I do. He's awesome. All right, well, we made $200 right there, which is awesome. And I'm going to go and take a leak real quick. Alrighty. Good deal. I'll take 200. 2 contracts, that would have been 400. 3 contracts, 600. So on and so on. I don't want to do that in the middle of news. I like how this kind of trailed up. See how these spread? This was trying to trail up. And then this one, it happened pretty fast, though. This all happened pretty quick. So I'd say a lot of people went long right there at 21. I would imagine a lot of people went long at 21 right there at the break of this. Potentially even looking for a break over here, which is why I'm. Oh, that might be why they rotated that bar. See, that was an area of interest for me. I cut it short because I front run it, but that was an area of interest. We got it. It popped and straight back down. It's like, huh. All right, good deal. What's this say? Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's one W on the board. Well, that's actually 2. I took a tiny trade on my other account for $50 when I wanted to be trading this account, but I was rotating through them to show you, and I accidentally left it on that one. So that would have been up $250 on this account for the day. My target per account, guys, target per account is 300 or better. And what I mean by better is obviously anything better, but I'm just saying like 315, 360, 400, 325, just anywhere in there. Up to, up to 500. That would be good. But I really want to see $200, $300 at least a day. It's when they're funded, it takes 10 days, 10 times 300, 3,000. Pay out 2,000, you still leave yourself drawdown money. For the next time you trade that account. That's the math that I'm using anyways. Well, that was a nice little quick push. A little excitement this morning. A little bit of news. Not putting up $28,000 per trade or anything, which is fun and exciting and cool and all that, but it's also pretty risky. Now we almost recovered all of it, and we are just chilling. Chilling. My wife told me a funny little joke yesterday. She said that if you get flowers, candy, and stuff, and dinner or something on Valentine's Day, you're the girlfriend. If you get it today, which is the 15th, you're the side chick. But if you get basically nothing and hang out on the couch and watch movies all night, you're the wife. Which is funny because that's what we do. Not because I don't like my wife. I love my wife dearly. We just don't buy into all the hype of stuff. We take care of each other pretty well, in my opinion. Hopefully that's her opinion too. Throughout the year, so we don't, it's not a big deal for us to go out to eat. And I'm not being conceited or cocky when I say that. I'm just saying in general, like it's not a big deal to go out to eat. It's not a big deal. If we want some candy, we'll go buy some candy. I don't need the government or a special day for me to buy my wife flowers, per se. I don't buy flowers a lot because they die. It's not my thing. But my point is, I don't need to celebrate my wife just one day a year like that. And not that that's what that is. I'm not saying it's the only day you celebrate your wife or your significant other, whoever that might be. All I'm saying is we pretty much hold that up all the time. So we don't really get into all that. Birthday's kind of the same. Christmas kind of the same. If you want something, go get it. That's the way I see it. Works for us anyways. Now that approach might not work for you, so I don't know if I'd try it. Just, if you set the tone already for, $20,000 gifts on Valentine's Day or anniversaries or something and all that stuff, yeah, that's your fault. You set the tone. Well, it looks like we're probably going to hold. We hold this 200 some more. I'd really like to see it push up, but I don't like the three little deals I'm seeing here. 1, 2, 3. Don't like that. I do like the up move better because we're above everything. But news has a way of recovering itself, and news started. Oh, when did it start? Yeah, right there. So news started here at 93.75 ish. The color change here could potentially be a long. I don't like all this red now. We don't have the direction here that we want. This could pop up easy. The long is not a bad position. We're above everything. Don't like the MACD or the deal right here. Well, it looks a lot bigger to me. Make that bigger for you guys. I don't like that deal, even though it could shove. This 14 could swerve this. Like if we had a bullish push right here, this would stay above and push. This is already showing kind of a push. Right here. We got a break here though, which I believe it looks like we're going to. See that? We got a break above here. That's good. That's good. Office Space joke. Daniel just responded about the Valentine's Day thing. If you don't love me on Saturday, don't bother loving me on Sunday, right? Office Space said, if you don't want to come in on Saturday to work, don't bother coming in on Sunday. No problem, boss. No problem. That's funny. I love it. All right, like I said, this didn't look the best. I didn't like the 1, 2, 3 that I'm seeing right here. And then we just recovered the news right here. So if we fail here, target 64. First target would be the lows here. So 84 and then really 64, I guess. Yeah. 82. Yeah, there we go. It's going. Whew, that was a drip. That is a drip right there, boys. Wow. See, that's what I was saying. At any given time, somebody could say something else. They said, or the news event numbers came out, whatever. Then somebody says something, drop. 1, 2, 3. That's why I didn't want the long. And we didn't break the highs here. We didn't break these little highs. Should have been in that short, but we'll probably get followed through now. Did that close below? Ooh, it did. This closed right there below these two. By, like, just a little bit, but it did. That should be a continuation. Well, I don't like a tail bar, but all right, so now we hit the 200 really hard on the 5. It is pre-market, but we ran down the 200 really hard. So we have a little bounce. Multiplicity? No, that was not multiplicity. maybe you referenced something else. I thought it was Office Space. Office Space. He said if you don't come in on Saturday, don't bother coming in on Sunday. So he said, well, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. That's what I thought that was about. Multiplicity. Michael Keaton, Multiplicity, great movie. Don't remember that part. Love the movie though. It's where he clones himself. Michael Keaton clones himself. So he has himself. He has what he refers to as number one, number two, and then, or he's number one. There's number two, there's number three, and then there's number four. And number four was a clone of a clone. So he wasn't as sharp as the the clones, if you will. So he was a little different. Great movie. Well, on the 5 minute, the 200 has held. I think we're still going to slip it. Just based off of, man, I really want to go short here. Kind of got a lot of distance right here. I'm not in love with that. But based off of the slam into the 200 off the 5. Boom, power. Now we would look for some follow through. And we just might be getting it here. Don't want to get ripped on, but 82 is the first target. We pretty much got it. Second target's 65-ish. If we can take the break. I should have been in a little sooner, like at 90. Let's give it a whirl. I think we'll get a little bit more out of this. If we don't pop just straight back up, that would suck. I'll cut it quickly at 100 or something if we do. Should get follow through here. Well, we just rotated candles. Dang it. I didn't pay any attention at all to that. Well, crap. $200 on the 5 minute going to hold with that much power into it? I don't see it holding, but, it could, I guess. Oh, my stop's probably too high. I'll fix it in a second. I need this to just go ahead and run. Don't slow down, just run. Run, run, run. Don't slow down. All right, that is a good color change, but we're slowing down. I don't like that. I don't like how slow it's getting. The follow through should be quickly. There's the rotate, so that's okay. That's okay so far. We just don't want it to come all the way back up to here. And we're holding. Dang it. Well, that stinks. Took the risk off of that. The bounce at the 5, I thought that would rotate and keep going. It's not dead in the water yet, but I don't like how slow it's going for sure. Yep, okay. Well, I just gave back all my profit there. That's not cool. Oh, it's 2 contracts, that's why. I was like, why is this going so quickly? All right, well, I gave it back. Dang it. Don't want the rip for sure. Alright, that's it. Dang it.
Order filled.
Alright, well, we lost that one. That was a display of suck. I did not think the 5 minute would hold there. I still don't think it will. I still think we actually rotate and punch it. But I don't want to hold out for all that. I got some work to do now. I got to get that back. Stop loss should have probably been up here 904, 905, but I didn't want to hold that long. I like to see this candle rotate, not go all the way straight back down right now. So 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3 drop, and then the lower right foot, which is essentially what you would wait on. I was just hoping this would follow through. But that didn't happen, so that's okay. On the 2 minute, these are still lined up. That's wild. Huh. On the 5 minute, that looks like a great short. I did take it at the bottom, but again, I was looking at the 5 minute. That's where I went wrong, I suppose. Should stay in my lane and trade my stuff, not something else. So now the problem is if you take the short here, which isn't a horrible idea, but you have these tops to get through. I think we got the direction right. Pretty sure. Let's see. 1 hour still pretty. But it's crossing. 15 minutes says. Yeah, I mean, we don't draw straight back up. The 15 minute says is looking shorty. 5 minutes still looking shorty. There's the bounce. That would be the rotation through it. Power into the 200. Rotate back. Velez says 50% of the time we get straight follow through and 50% of the time we get a pullback. So, and it may be more like 40 and 40 because 20% of the time we just actually keep going. So I'd be break even if I hadn't have done what I did. Or nope, not yet. Not yet. That's a lie. That was a lie. Not break even, sorry. Break even's way down here. All right, well, now we wait till open. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. News kind of changes things. That's why a lot of people don't like to trade the news. We had a really good trade and screwed it up. So that's not cool. I'd really like to see these come down. Kind of like what this is showing. But this is showing the opposite. So for me to take that short wasn't the smartest idea. Obviously, if it worked out, I'd look like a hero. But it did not. I should have taken that on one contract where the risk was there. The risk was there for a bounce off the 200, right? So I should have maybe taken one contract down, and then I would be still break even on this. But I'm down, I don't know, 100 and something on the day. 139, I'm down. 1-1, lost one. I think this follows through to the downside, but we're holding VWAP now, again. Two-step pullback on the 1 minute, two-step pullback kind of on the 2. And then we can drop. I'm gonna take it. I kind of like it.
Order filled.
I don't know if we'll get it or not, but I kind of like it. Well, we're getting a lot of it. Honestly, if we can really get this to go, I like it better at 64. I actually like it a lot better at 64. I almost took it off at 100 so it doesn't rip back up on me right here, which I'm going to have to probably go ahead and take out. It's not looking the best. We've got 30 seconds left on the candle. This would be the igniting bar. The color did change, so that's good. And we are pushing back off of the 200 again. This would really have to follow through, though. I could take it off manually if I need to. Uh-oh. That's what I didn't want to see, was a wrap. A wrap of this back up. So, yeah, that sucks. Man. Follow through sucked. It's okay, though. One contract, 95 bucks. We're okay. Don't want to sit and lose trades, though. The 20 is still really flat. Everything's still really flat, which is why I thought that power through everything would matter. What's the ES say? ES held the bottom. I'd like to revisit that bottom. Yeah, I'd really like to revisit that. Or actually get some follow through here, which would be awesome. Which is basically a break of that. If I had two contracts, I'd take one off there. I would have taken one off there. I don't. I have one contract. It's a little risky. And only because the 20 and everything is still above the 200. Well, it's below the 200 SMA. That's true. Follow through all the way. Let's go. No, keep going. Break the little trend line. And rock to the downside some. See, I couldn't have done that on 5 contracts. I would have already been shook all the way out. Kind of like now, I'm probably going to get shook out. I wanted to see power right there. That indecision candle sucks with 2 tail bars. Well, crap. I had 200 twice. I mean 100 twice, sorry. 100 twice. I guess if it gives me 100 again, I may launch. I don't know that it will, though, honestly. Like, that's... Now we're just holding that trend line pretty good. So, and we're curling up some other things right here. We're curling up on the 14. I want to see power through. Same power we had into it. I want to see the same power shift out of it. We're getting too much time now. That's too much time in between, in my opinion. So we'll cut it pretty soon. What's this show? It wouldn't surprise me to break to the downside. That's why I took it, right? I mean, that was the goal. It might be a little much to ask of it, though, right now before markets open. It's only 9 o'clock, so. Might be a little bit too much to ask of it. Then again, maybe it says that wasn't too much to ask at all. This is the bad part about one contract. You can't take one off. You could build, you could add, but you can't really take one off. I can put my stop into profit. I really want that down here. Keep going. Keep going. 230, 250. I still want that to go and not back up. That cleared. We're in good shape. I almost want to add. I should have added from the top, maybe. I'm probably gonna take that off. Yeah,
Order filled.
205. So if I'd have stayed in that trade, like I said, with one contract, it wouldn't have shook me out up there. But I did. I think it's gonna go though. I think I should have probably added 64. That's 20 more points. I should have added when we broke this. I probably should have added one. Took off one and then let the other one go with a stop, trailing stop. That's some things that I'm working on. And sadly, because I was 2 contracts, we lost 330. Because I was 1 contract, we won 205 on a bigger move, right? Color change here would say short again. What's the 5 say? We're kind of holding. See what I'm saying though? We powered into the 5. We bounced. Everything still says scorching to the downside right here. That's why I did it. One could say that was a terrible trade. Whatever. I don't really care. It was a good trade. I didn't hold throughout. That's 330, so that would have probably been like 500, 600. I could have held out for that and then not took the loss and still won the trade. So that would have give me that 330 back. Take that away, right? So it's $130 to the good versus where I actually lost money. I'm still up on the day, but I lost money on the overall transaction of both of those. Hope that made sense. I almost think we drip from here. Boom. Straight to maybe. You never know, but 64 is my target. We don't want to recover that big red candle all the way. And so that doesn't look so choppy, I want to get rid of this. Well, I really don't yet, but I'll put it back if I need to. A lot of lines right there, right? Everything is super flat. No direction at all yet. So with no direction, then what do we do? Nothing is the answer. Well, it's 9:09. I got in here at like 7:10 probably. I'm up $62. Woo woo, yay. Better than being down. Better than blowing an account. And then we'll trade regular session when it comes in. As I say, we didn't want to recover that whole candle. That, to me, almost invalidates the short side now. But we'll see. All right, guys. Have a good morning. Have a good day. Live life to the fullest. Tell somebody you love them. Give them a hug. And I'll see you soon.